but it had a little banner in the corner that said, all new, whatever that meant.
Right.
And that meant nothing to anybody. So you had a lot of disgruntled customers who didn't understand where the knife was, or Jamie Lee, or the shape, or any of it. It is incredibly gratifying that all this time later, it's got a fan base of great people, and found its own at last. That feels good.
And the original idea, where did that come from? Was that John and Deborah and you?
I believe Deborah was really the driving force, and she had this notion of Halloween meets the computer age, or some kind of one-sentence pitch like that. And she sort of got that rolling. John had been looking for an opportunity to work with Nigel Neal, the great writer from England. And so he came up with a script. And we went from there. Nigel's name should have been on it, but he didn't like what we did to it and took his name off. John had a hand in the writing. He never put his name on it. So although the credit reads written by me, it's pretty inaccurate. I did a lot of rewriting, but you know, Nigel, I'd say about 60% of that script is Nigel.
Let me talk to the actors who are on stage. How did this, Nancy? How did this movie come to you?
Well, can you all hear me without the mic? Can you hear me without the mic?
No.
Too bad. It's too early in the morning. So, as Tommy said, it was 1982, and I was happy to have a part. I was always glad to work, create a character, but I have to say, I was fairly distracted by the fact that I was expecting my first baby. So, that event sort of overshadowed all the other memories that I have about that year. But I did like the fact that it wound up being a lot of voiceover work for me, which I thought was kind of funny. That, you know, there was just this voice, this constant voice, either just in Tommy Atkins' head or actually on the phone, but, you know, haranguing him.
Yeah.
And other than that, I based my character on you know, family members that I probably shouldn't mention.
It's like the Annie character from Halloween grows up too fast and has a bad marriage.
And Stacey, how did you become involved with the movie?
Wow, I had a makeup artist friend who was already, a man named Ron Walters, who I had worked with, who was already signed on to the film, who was telling me about this script, and he said, they cannot find somebody to play the lead. Why don't you come in and read? And I kept saying, no. He said, look, they're really down to the wire. You should just go in. And I read the script, and I loved this character because she was spunky. She had a lot of energy, and she fought for what she wanted, and I loved that. So I went in to read, and I literally was getting the call. The phone was ringing as I walked in the door on my way, you know, into my house at the time, which never happened, saying you got the part. Usually you wait. And I think a day or two later, we were shooting. It was that down to the wire. And of course, the love scene was one of the first scenes we did.
Yeah.
Right? It's always a great way to meet someone. Hi, how are you? Let's get naked. But anyway, that was that.
Yeah.
That's Tom, you'd already established. Yeah. Tom, you'd already obviously had a relationship with John Carpenter, having worked on Fog and Escape from New York at that point. And
Yeah,
so was the part written for you?
What?
Was the part written for you?
Was it what for me?
The part in Halloween 3.
Oh, I don't think it was written for me, but was happy to be offered the part and to do the film. And like Stacey said, we were having meetings in offices, and I went over with Tommy and Deborah and would sit in on the young women they would bring in for that role. And I remember when Stacey finally came in, I think there were 3 girls that day, and she came in, as soon as she left the room, everybody pretty much, yeah, okay, there she is, that's her. And then and I think it was the first day of shooting, or damn near, that they said, let's do this bedroom scene. And I always thought, where do you want me to sleep, Dr. Chalice, was one of the dumbest I ever heard in my life. But we had a great time shooting the film, running around up in Lolita, or whatever the hell the little town was, up in Northern California. It was great. I had a wonderful time on the film.